Eternal Atake is Lil Uzi Vert's best project, and this is why. As someone who mostly listens to more lyrical rap and high-quality concept albums with lots of thought put into them, Lil Uzi Vert's 2020 album Eternal Atake stuck out from the rest of his discography. I was pleasantly surprised when I heard it for the first time, and I strongly think that it is the best project he has ever put out. And I know a lot of people will disagree with this take, but I'm gonna try my best to explain my perspective. But first, let's look at the timeline of Uzi's career. Lil Uzi Vert had always been a fan of music, and in 2014 he released his first ever mixtape, The Real Uzi. This was in the up-and-coming trap style of music, and this led to him getting a record deal with Atlantic Records. He soon followed up this release with his second mixtape, Love Is Rage, which did much better with critics. He then broke into the mainstream with his first commercial mixtape, Lil Uzi Vert vs. the World. It debuted at the 37th spot on the Billboard Top 200, and it stayed there for 55 weeks. After the release of Lil Uzi Vert vs. the World, he made his way to the XXL Cypher for the 2016 freshman class, which included future big names like Denzel Curry, 21 Savage, Lil Yachty, and Kodak Black. Following this event, he released the mixtape The Perfect Love Tape on his birthday in 2016. Later in the year, he released a collab mixtape with Gucci Mane, and then announced his first ever studio album, Love Is Rage 2. The studio album was delayed many times, however he received very good reviews on the single XO Tour Life, which was told to be on the album. He finally released the album with 2 more singles, Sauce It Up, and The Way Life Goes, the ultimate sad boy song. The album debuted at number 1 on the Billboard Top 200 and was certified platinum. After the wild success of the album in 2017, Lil Uzi became very quiet. He was featured on many songs and released singles, but did not make an album for 3 years. Until on March 6th in 2020, Lil Uzi Vert released his second studio album, Eternal Atake. Eternal Atake was on top of the Billboard 200 once again. It was led by the single Futsal Shuffle 2020, which appeared as a bonus track. Shortly after, he released the deluxe version, which also could be known as Love vs. the World 2, the sequel to his 2016 mixtape. He had features from Future, Gunna, Young Thug, 21 Savage, Chief Keef, and more. In July of 2020, Uzi released a collab album with Future named Pluto x Baby Pluto. They released a deluxe version soon after. And now we get to the point of the video. Why is Eternal Atake Uzi's best project? I have a couple reasons why. Reason number 1, he put by far the most thought, time, and effort into any of his albums. Many people consider Uzi to be a mainstream industry plant rapper currently in the game. Between 2015 and 2017, he released 4 projects, and they all did very well, but the sounds of them got very repetitive and not a lot of thought seemed to go into them. Love Is Rage 2 is a perfect example of this. It has a couple very good songs in it, but more than half the tracks seem to serve the purpose of filling up the album and making it longer. This is why it was so surprising when he went quiet for 3 years. This was very unlike him, or anyone you would consider to be an industry plant. When listening to Eternal Atake, you can hear the thought put into it. This brings us to the second point. The songs are higher quality and more unique to each other than any other project. In the majority of Lil Uzi's other albums, the songs may sound good, but are weaker with the lyrics and will get repetitive. I'll play a perfect example of one of the lower quality songs by Uzi, which is What's Up featuring Future, on the deluxe version of Eternal Atake. I'll play you a little. Get streams, rather than being something the artist truly is passionate about. On Eternal Atake, these songs do not seem to appear as much. Most of the tracklist of Eternal Atake sounds similar, but not identical. Many different moods come throughout the album, and he does not use the same sounds over and over again. I'm not saying that every song off Eternal Atake is like something Kendrick Lamar would make, but it is a step up from the rest of Uzi's work, and a lot of trap music in general. Reason number 3. Uzi was able to hold his own with only one feature on the whole album. On almost all of Uzi's other work, he gets very big names to be featured and often seems to get outshined by the featured artists on his own songs. On Eternal Atake, however, he only has one feature, which comes from Sid on the song Urgency. Uzi's able to keep it up throughout the rest of the 1 hour-long album all by himself. My fourth and final reason, the album is a concept and it comes together as a whole. In the time Uzi took between albums to make this, one of the things he clearly did was make it come together unlike anything else he has made. He throws in little things like song transitions and interludes at the end of most songs to tell a little story of him getting abducted by aliens and traveling through space. These little things might not seem like much, but in my opinion they make an album so much better, and you never see anything like this on his other projects. The last reason why this is his best project is the concept of it. Nothing else he has made has had a concept to it, whereas Eternal Atake does. Throughout Eternal Atake, Uzi raps from the perspective of 3 different personas. The first one is Baby Pluto, who is cocky and talks about things like jewelry and cars. The second persona is Renji, who is a lot nicer and even apologizes for being bad or mean on the track I'm Sorry. The final persona is Uzi, who is considered to be the best version of himself, who appears on tracks like P2, which is part 2 of the track EXO Tour Life from his first studio album. One thing that makes me sad is how Uzi went right back to his old ways after the release of Eternal Atake. He released the deluxe version, which brought 14 new tracks, which were much worse in quality, lyrics, and thought put into them. For example, What's Up, which I played earlier. He soon later released his collab album with Future, which in my opinion consisted of 26 filler tracks, and nothing that seemed like he really was passionate about or put thought into. I think Uzi showed us his true potential on Eternal Atake. He now has 2 options. He could either go back to his old mainstream artist ways of releasing for the money and fame, or he could take his time and release another higher quality album like Eternal Atake. I know many people might not think that this is his best album because they can get bored of just Uzi with only one feature, but I like to judge albums based off the artist who made it. Should you really be giving credit to an artist who's being carried on their own tracks? And not to name any names, but Dial-It. And I want to make myself clear once again that Eternal Atake is not an excellent album or masterpiece by any means. I don't even think it's the best album of 2020 either. However, I do think it's better than anything else Uzi has ever made. But no matter what your opinion is, thank you for watching this video. A lot of time and research went into it, and if you enjoyed, consider subscribing. Have a good day.